All right, we're back. Today we're working on a 2015 Ford Focus SE with the 2.0 motor and the transmission that I've always heard people have problems with, but I've been lucky enough. This is my third one and I've never experienced it until now. Today we're simply going to be trying to replace the clutch actuator, which is right there. This car has two of them, an upper and a lower. And we're going to switch these around because I'm getting a P code for clutch actuator B, which is a lower one. So we're going to try to chase this issue down and see if it's the clutch actuator or the TCM that these sit beside. So let's go ahead and get into this. We got to get these clutch actuators off. All right, we're going to start with removing the air box, which are 4 8mm nut bolts, and then we're going to unplug the vacuum lines here, back here, and we're going to loosen the clamp right here, and we're also going to remove the intake right here. It all goes very simple. This whole unit really just pops out. But I'm going to take my time and remove everything today just to show you. We're also going to be unplugging the sensor here. We'll show you when you get to that. You pop this red piece up and then that just slides right out. But to get to that actuator properly and get it unplugged, we just got to move some of these wires out of the way, and I'll show you. You got to pull out some of these pins and such to get them out. But overall, fairly simple process to do. Let's get started. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts for the air box. We'll start with that. All right, with the air filter and top cover out of the way, we can move around a little bit easier here. Again, this top pin, you pull this up, and then you squeeze on that, it slides right off. So again, pull up the red pin, slides right out. And then I pull this pin out of here. It just holds the wire, and that way it's out of the way. Next thing, hit the blue, press in on the blue part. That just simply pulls off. And then down here, you uncap that and just pull that off. So now, once I loosen up this bracket, I will take off this assembly and set it on the table. And again, all this just pulls right out. I'll show you here in a second. Let's get that clamp loosened up. Just an important note, if you don't have a flathead for these handy, it is a 7mm that can take off your clamps that come factory on the Focus. Keep in mind, the nuts and bolts for the air box were actually 8mm. So if you got a 7 and an 8 handy, that'll get rid of that whole assembly for you. So with everything unhooked and the clamp loosened, I pulled it off already off the intake. So now you just have to pull up on this housing and it pops right off. Got to use a little bit of force with it, but as you can see, that comes off. And then you just set it over here on the table with the rest of the stuff. Now that's out of your way. Much easier to work with that out. Now see, this is the actuator you're going to have to get to. You can see 4 bolts. Now you got to have a special socket for that, right? I bought it off Amazon for like $3. So I'll show you this wrench here in a second that we use, the socket. So again, the tool you need to remove those, it's called an E8. So everyone's familiar with the Torx bit. This is a Torx socket, right? So your Torx bit that you use for this car also, you know, it has the screwdriver end and it looks like the star like that. Well, this is the socket. It's called an E8 that you need to take off of these. But before you do so, there's also this wiring harness here that you have to deal with. So you have to push this yellow piece out that locks it in. So best thing to do is get a flathead and pop this out, and then you just push in and you'll be able to pull that harness right off. We'll show you that. So as I was saying, see that yellow clip? We pulled this yellow clip out. Now you squeeze on right here where the lines are. This pulls to the right, and when it does, when you pull that out, it backs this piece off automatically, and then it just slides right off the actuator. So pretty simple. Good, clean, doesn't look like anything's broke, so that's good. So you just push that out of the way, and now you just simply take off the E8 bolts that are in there, and that pops right out. We'll show you. Okay, with this this is clutch actuator out. You can see that's the hole where it was. So we're going to take this one, and we're going to put this one on the bottom one where it says clutch B is getting a low circuit. And we're going to chase this and see if we can make it happen on clutch A. And then we'll know if it's the actuators or if the TCM's failing. Which, if those of you don't know, this is the TCM right here on the side of the transmission. All right, let's get the other one done. It's on the bottom, and we'll show you that in a second. All right, so now we're underneath the car to get to the lower actuator on the transmission, also known as actuator A. I'm sorry, actuator B. We just removed the A. Now we're going to switch it out with B. So one easiest way to do it is to take off the splash pan here, a couple T30 bolts. So this one, and then there's two more, one there and one down there. Okay, so there's three to get the splash pan off, and then you'll see it. It'll be right in front of you. Let's go ahead and do this. Again, this is a T30, Torx bit 30. All right, well, with the splash pan out of the way, like I was telling you, you can look right at it. It's right there. So pretty simple to get to on this one once you drop it down. Something to make note of if you're running a Ford Focus is checking out the TCM model that you have. You can see here, this is a K00 tag, so something to make a note of if you're messing with these. But going back to the other actuator, this is the one we're going to pop this one out, put it on top, and put the top one into this one. So again, same setup. Yellow clips got to be pushed out. Then you just squeeze that little piece I showed you earlier, and it slides that thing right out. So let's show you. Okay, so we just got our A actuator put into the B slot. Tightened it down. Remember, do one corner, opposite corners at a time. So, you know, top left, bottom right, top right, bottom left. Tighten those up like that. Now we're just ready to plug it in. Remember, when you plug this in, you just take it, slide it in on the end like that. Make sure it's good to go. Then you just push down, push in on the part that you pulled out. Push it down in, and then make sure you set your yellow clips so it doesn't slide out. And that's it. You're all set. Now we got to put the top one in and we're all done. So as a little side quest before we put this airbox back in, see, this is the ground that I did some reading about, and people say that if you're not getting a good ground, that can cause issues too. So, you know, just installing stereos in a previous life, we always ground all the paint off of where we had our ground going into. So I went ahead, I wanted to show you guys as a side quest while you're in there. You got a drill handy with a little wire brush or even some sandpaper. I'm going to grind that paint off of there, and then I'll show you what that looks like underneath that, just to get a better ground. That way we could take that out of the equation. Okay, well, you can see nothing serious, just to clean it up, just so we can't say, well, we never did that part to try to fix this low actuator code that we're getting. Low clutch actuator, low voltage clutch actuator B. So we're gonna put the bolt back in that now, then we're gonna put the airbox in, and that should be it. So let's see what we got. All right, we got everything back together. Make sure you put your electrical switch back in, push your pin down, your blue vacuum line, pushed it down, and your third line here. Don't forget to take your wire collector, put it in there, and that's it. So I hope this helps somebody out. Make sure you tighten your intake clamp down. I hope this helps somebody out and clears up any issues you might be having. Again, all this does is, if the new code you get says clutch actuator A, you know that it was the actuator, because we switched them, right? We took the one on the bottom, put it on the top on the bottom. So the one that was reading bad was the lower one. So if this works and it's just the actuator, your code will tell you that it's the clutch actuator A. So if it's actually the actuator bad, if it says clutch actuator B low voltage again, then you know you've got other problems, which is likely the TCM needs replaced, which that can be a whole nother video. All right, thanks for watching.